Evening all, and we're done. And there were some 80 scores tonight. 6, 7, 7, 9. Yeah, that's 80s level scoring right there. A great era I look back on fondly. That's when I got into watching hockey. Alright, that being said, proving my oldness again. Yeah, oldness is a word, look it up. First up, inventing words since 2016. The Tampa Bay Lightning at home against the New York Islanders. And this was a night of concerning results for teams that have been towards the top of my power rankings board, let's be honest. Number one, they've been number one, and Tampa was supposed to be number one. Tampa was supposed to be the best team in the league. They're not. They really aren't. Early, the shots were in the advantage of the Islanders. The Bolts got a power play, and the Islanders really look like the Coyotes of the East. Or the Coyotes look like the Islanders of the West. Either way, these teams are winning games, using stingy defense, frustrating other teams, and great goaltending. It's a very simple formula, and it's working for both. Stamkos had a shot that was stopped by Varlamov's stick. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. The announcers were kind of playing it off like, well, he beat Varlamov, just not the stick. I'm going to join the goalies union on this one. If the stick's in the right spot, it's because the goaltender played the shot right. So either way, it's scoreless after one. Second period, Pelech blocked a Killorn shot, and he looked kind of shaken up on that one. He stayed in the game. Schenn and Point then had chances that were stopped. That's Luke Schenn with a very good chance that was stopped. So it's rare, but Luke Schenn pinching on that play. Conacher then had a breakaway that was stopped, and then pretty quickly thereafter, the puck goes the other way, and Johnston scores from Pulock at 6:46 to make it 1-0. And that's kind of how this game would go for Tampa. They get a really good chance, and then the Islanders break the other way. Tampa got a power play. During said power play, Josh Bailey scores a shorthanded goal from Zizekas at 8:37. It's 2-0 for the Islanders, and then they get a power play. They wouldn't score on it, and the momentum would kind of shift a little bit back towards Tampa. Stamkos would score from Shattenkirk and Cirelli at 15:35. It's 2-1 after 2. So you're like, all right, well, it's Tampa. They're at home. They can come back. No. Third period, Tampa got an early power play. Varlamov stopped Maroon twice. Maroon was clearly thrown off by the fact he stopped the second one. And I think it was more of a case of Maroon going, man, I should have roofed that or something. But yeah, that one didn't go in. And then Nelson scored at 7:31. Unassisted goal for him. And it's 3-1. Not too long afterwards, Tampa scores a goal. Nice goal by Hedman. Great goal. The problem was Barry Trotz challenged immediately. And if Barry Trotz challenges, it's offside. So they reviewed it. Trotz was right. It's offside. The offside spotters that teams have right now are pretty darn good at it. They really are. They call in almost immediately, and right away the coach is like, yep, we're challenging. So good catch by the Islanders spotters on that one. Nelson would then score from Leon Eberle at 14:41. That made it a 4-1 game. The Islanders get a power play late, and I said that ends it because there's no way that they're going to score 3 times in 4 minutes. And then at 16:05, Lee scored from Bailey and Barzal to make it 5-1, which really ended it. And the Islanders, this is a statement game for New York. This is very, very troubling for Tampa. They got destroyed at home. So, you know, for people wondering, what does this do to Shannon's board? Oh, it really impacts both teams. It basically reverses course for the Islanders, and it absolutely exposes a lot of weaknesses in Tampa's game right now. This is getting into that realm where this was a game they had in hand of other teams they had to catch. None of the teams they're trying to catch played tonight, and they blew it. So Varlamov saved 31 out of 32. McElhinney saved 19 out of 24. 3 stars, Nelson, Varlamov, and Shattenkirk. I'm not sure why McElhinney's playing here, unless something was wrong with Vasilevsky and I didn't hear it. I'm really not sure, because tomorrow night they're going to play against Florida. So Vasi's going to play Florida, and McElhinney's playing the Islanders. All right, I guess it checks out. 3 stars are Nelson, Varlamov, and Shattenkirk. Power plays, the Islanders 1 for 2, Tampa 0 for 3. The shots, the Islanders were remarkably consistent. 8 shots in each period. Tampa outshot them in each period, 9-8 in the first, 12-8 in the second, 11-8 in the third. Final shots 32-24 in favor of the Tampa Bay Lightning. So Tampa outshoots them, but the Islanders schooled them where it counts on the scoreboard. Moving along, Columbus. Columbus, we've been waiting for a game like this with Columbus because they still have a good team. I understand all the guys they lost in the offseason. They still have a good team. They just haven't had good results. So Atkinson scores from Nyquist and Texier at 3:27. And it's 1-0 Columbus early. And Columbus was up 4-0 in shots 4.5 minutes into this. And then they got the first power play of the game as well. And we're up in shots 10-1 at the halfway mark of the first period. At which point I'm like, all right, so Washington's going to wake up, right? The problem is when you've got Korpisalo in net, he seems to be one of those goalies that if he has a lead, he plays really well. And if he's not tested a lot early, he settles in. So he is one of those goalies you want to jump on him early, have him second-guessing himself, have Columbus playing from behind. Didn't happen. Nyquist had a breakaway, which was denied by Holtby. Gudas then cleared a certain goal. The puck went through Holtby, and that would have ended up in the net, but Gudas clears it out. Dominant start for Columbus, and honestly, the Capitals were very lucky that it was only 1-0 at that point in the game. Oshie had a really good chance late. I would say about 30 seconds left in the period. Oshie had a really good chance. But it's 1-0 after one, and honestly, Columbus had outplayed them really, really badly. Second period, Columbus, that solid road game continued. Murray would score from Robinson at 6:52, and the shots were 25-12 halfway through the game for Columbus. It is at this point the Caps wake up. So they spotted him a 2-goal lead. The Capitals woke up. The Caps got a late power play. The shots were evening out at that point, but Korpisalo with a 2-goal lead, very confident in that net, unflappable. And this is what happens with Korpisalo. His numbers are not remarkable on the season, but he's had some very good games. When Columbus wins, very often he's the star in those wins. Late power play for Columbus, but in the third period, Ovechkin would score from Orlov and Backstrom 40 seconds into that period. And I believe for Backstrom, this is goal number 254 by Ovechkin. The Backstroms had a helper on, so they like working together. Kuznetsov then hit the side of the net. Things were getting a little dicey. Columbus got a power play. They wouldn't score on it, but shortly thereafter, Nash scores from Wenberg at 6:53. And that goal I put up, that really hurts the Caps. It hurt because Nash scored it from behind the goal line, where he just sort of flings it at the net, bounces it off Holtby and into the net. It is one of those goals you hate to see, and it was absolutely a momentum switch. Because Columbus at that stage is up 3-1, and you could tell it's like, okay, we can do this. Bjorkstrand scores from Milano and Jones at 10:37 to make it 4-1. Game gets later on with just over 2 minutes left, actually. Backstrom scores from Ovechkin and Kuznetsov, so 17:54, that makes it 4-2. But Atkinson would hit the empty net at 18 minutes and 12 seconds, and that sealed it away. Your final score is 5-2 in favor of Columbus. Team that's had trouble scoring gets goals. A team that's goaltending has been shaky gets the goaltending. Korpisalo is the number one star of this game. Atkinson and Ovechkin are stars 2 and 3. Korpisalo, 37 saves on 39 shots. Holtby, 33 saves on 37 shots. Columbus went 0 for 5 on the power play. Special teams didn't help them that way, but the Capitals were also 0 for 3. Your shots, 20-6 in the first in favor of Columbus, 15-6 in favor of Washington. So like I said, that switch took place in that second period, and Washington took over. In the third, the shots were 18-12 in favor of Washington. Washington has to be happy about the 18, not so happy about the 12. Final shots were actually 39-38 in favor of the Capitals, but if you looked at this game the whole way through, Columbus had control when it mattered, and they never sacrificed that lead. So very good game for Columbus, one that'll leave you scratching your head if you're a Caps fan, but maybe it's just a one-off. We will see. Moving along. All right. This is it. This for the Boston Bruins is bottom. And I knew this magnet should have been on that board this morning, and I thought, no, Don't do it, Shannon. You put the Akbar magnet on the Boston-Ottawa game last time. And Boston only played about 10 minutes of that game, but they still won it. Ottawa controlled the rest of that game. Tonight, Boston didn't play 10 minutes. Anisimov scores from DeMello and Shabbat at 1:35. And it was a backhand shot, and that was the first shot on net for Rask. So that's got to wake up Boston, right? No. The Senators led 5-2 in shots at the 8.5 minute mark. Tkachuk's stick broke, and it might have cost him a goal in that he was cruising through the neutral zone, and it was broken before, and he may not have known how much. And yeah, it's one of those things where he was quite ticked off, but it was broken. Duclair would then score from Tierney at 15:44, and that's when I put the Akbar magnet on the board. In between that goal and whatever happened after, I said, okay, this proves I was wrong. This is the one that I should have said. This is your upset of the day. I didn't acknowledge it as a trap necessarily. Bergeron would score from Pasternak and Marchand at 17:48. So it looked like the magnet had caused the opposite to happen. Boston's coming back. Not so fast. Second period, Tierney from Nemesnikov at 1:21. So 3-1 for Ottawa. The Sens then got a power play. They had 4 shots on their power play. Their power play did get chances tonight. So as much as I talk about their power play and how it's not very good, and it's not, it did have its share of chances tonight. The Bruins got a power play. Nilsson robbed Heinen during that power play. That was an absolute steal by Nilsson. And I'm like, of course, Nilsson's going to have the good game now. The Senators were much better in this game to that stage. The Bruins got a power play. But the Bruins get another power play. Wake up. Put that on the board. Like, all right, that's enough of this. Come on, guys. You got to wake up now. This is kind of your thing. Nope. Late power play for the Bruins after that one, and they killed that off as well. This was not a good power play for Boston. Their percentage coming out of tonight looks pretty good, but overall, it was not a great power play. The Senators in the third were cutting the Bruins off very well. The Bruins weren't getting a lot of great chances early in that period. Really good game for Nilsson when the puck did come to him. The Senators got a power play. However, 23 seconds into it, Shabbat high sticks McAvoy, and it's 4-on-4 after that. And it was interesting because McAvoy kind of had his mouth open, trying to look for damage, and the ref's kind of looking at him, and it did look like it was a dental appointment at that stage. It was weird. But it's 4-on-4 for 1:37, which is sometimes lethal for Boston. They're very good at 4-on-4, but Ottawa rejected it. There was a late Senators power play, and the Bruins look bad. Let's be honest. Then the Bruins get a power play, and they pulled the goalie to make it 6-on-4. The Bruins on the ice didn't like it. They did not like the goalie being pulled. They felt they should have a chance to do a proper power play 5-on-4. So when it's stolen, Hainsey plays it to Mesnikov to Pajot. Shorthanded goal, empty netter for Jean-Gabriel Pajot at 17:02. You could see that both Bergeron and Marchand were very much upset with that result of the play. Not impressed, because they didn't want the goalie to get pulled at that stage, because now it was a 3-goal deficit. So they pulled the goalie again, still on the power play. DeBrusk would score on that power play from Pasternak and Marchand at 17:45. So like I said, their power play numbers tonight end up being okay, but it was a 6-on-4 power play, and they had just allowed a shorthanded goal. So that to me nullifies anything else that had happened. And yeah, the Bruins were just unhappy in general. With 1 second left, Duclair scores his second of the game from DeMello and Tierney, so 19:59, makes it 5-2. This is the first time that Ottawa's beaten Boston in about 2.5 years. They're in the same division, so that's over a number of games here. Tuukka Rask saved 23 out of 26 in the loss. Yeah, that's 2 empty netters for Ottawa. I'm doing the math and going, really? Oh, yeah, no, that's right. Nilsson, 38 saves on 40 shots. Your 3 stars, Duclair, Nilsson, and Tierney. Power plays, Boston goes 1 for 5. Ottawa goes 0 for 3. That really should be 1 for 5 with an asterisk, because it was a 6-on-4, and they'd allowed the shorthanded goal before that. Shots were 14-8 for Ottawa in the first, 16-9 Boston in the second, and then 16-5 Boston in the third. Final shots 40-28 for Boston, but I don't feel like they played a very good game. I do feel like Ottawa deserved this victory. I know what the shots tell you, but having watched this game, This was Ottawa's game. This was one of the best games I've seen Ottawa play this year. And again, this is why I like the Sens this year. They are a hard-working team. They do get victories every now and then, and if you don't work hard enough, they make you pay for it. And that's what happened to Boston tonight. And for people wondering, yeah, Boston takes a bit of a dive in the power rankings after this because they lost their last game as well. So I have some concerns, and then they're playing the Capitals and the Lightning after this one. So it does not get easier for Boston because the Capitals and the Lightning aren't going to be very happy after what's happened. And Tampa Bay and Boston have a rivalry that's pretty strong. So you might want to tune in for that one when that takes place later this week. All right, next up. Calgary. Tonight, Calgary's interim coach, Jeff Ward. Are we ready to just call him the coach? I am. He gets a pay bump, probably stays in for the rest of the year. He is the first Flames coach in their history to win the first 5 games he's coached behind the bench. And they did it over a very solid Colorado Avalanche team. This is a 5-4 game that was actually really well played by both teams. In the first, Riddick was tested early by Rantanen. Rantanen gets in there, Riddick denied him. Riddick had a very good game, doesn't show up. Graves would score from Donskoy and Comfort at 4:32. Donskoy also had an amazing game tonight. He'd be my honorary star of the night, I would think. The Flames had been held to 1 shot through 7 minutes of play. The Avs got a power play, but as that period went along, Calgary was playing better. They started generating some shots. And they actually had the lead in shots after that first period. So this was a pretty decent road period, just you're down by 1 goal. But you're against a Colorado team that has looked really strong this year. So second period, Johnny Gaudreau looked good early in that period. He doesn't end up getting a star in this, but I thought he had a decent enough game. The Flames got a power play, and it was another solid game for Francouz to that point. Ryan would then score from Shillington and Dubé at 9:33 to tie it up, but no sooner has that happened, it's Valeri Nichushkin with his 5th. He's already up to 5, and it took him a while to get the first one. So he scores from Graves and Nieto at 10:04, and the Avs got a power play pretty quick after that. They wouldn't score, but the momentum was all in their favor until Tkachuk scores from Giordano and Lindholm at 16:04. So we leave the second period, it's a 2-2 tie. Calgary, on the road, playing very well against a Colorado team that is relatively healthy. I know Makar and Kadri, but they've got Landeskog and Rantanen back. So, again, relatively healthy by Colorado standards. And this is Francouz in net, not Grubauer. But Francouz came into this game with better numbers than Grubauer. So there you go. Third period, 12 seconds in, 12. The ice isn't even dry yet. Mangiapane scores from Tkachuk and Lindholm, 12 seconds in. And all I write on the board is, wow. Just that was a, I don't know, it felt like a statement goal by Calgary. And then Frolik scores from Reeder and Jankowski at 1 minute and 39 seconds. That's the first time I've put Jankowski's name on the board all year in a review video. That's his first point. That's insane. He's played a lot of games. That's his first point. Frolik, that's I think his third or fourth goal, maybe? He hasn't been scoring either. It could even be as low as the second. I know he has at least 1, which is, again, insane. And for Toby Reeder, 3 points now on the season. Work on an extension, Mr. Reeder. Work on it now. All kidding aside, though, it was now 4-2 for Calgary. They'd run up 3 goals in about 5.5 minutes of game time. And that crowd was really quiet. And it looked like the Flames are back. This is the Flames team that we saw last year that finished first in the West. Tkachuk left the game. It looked like he was hurt. I believe he ended up coming back, though. I'm pretty sure I saw him out there in overtime. McKinnon would score from Cole at 3 minutes and 59 seconds. There was then a too many men on the ice call against the Avalanche, which kind of hurt their momentum, but not for long. Donskoy scores from McKinnon and Burakovsky at 10:45. Fantastic pass by McKinnon. Fantastic. And Jonas Donskoy, he's up there again. That's a goal and an assist for this guy. And I had said when everybody gets healthy, maybe Donskoy will end up losing points. Nope, they got McKinnon with him and Burakovsky. Fantastic decision. Fantastic decision to put those 3 together. If the Avs genuinely can have 2 really good scoring lines and not just rely on the one like they did a lot last year, yeah, these guys are even more of contenders than I thought they'd be, and I had them going to the Stanley Cup Final this year. Heavy Avalanche push after that, which was driven by McKinnon. McKinnon was on the ice a lot throughout the rest of that third period. Riddick really has had a solid game to this stage, and I know the shot differentials and all this. You don't see just how well Riddick's played when you look at the save percentage tonight, but he made some highlight reel saves. We go to overtime. Early Flames chance that just missed. It goes down to the other end. The Avalanche couldn't get a shot on net, and puck control game goes back to Calgary. It's Monahan from Dubé and Giordano. And the nice thing with this was, this goal's at 2 minutes and 9 seconds. Nathan MacKinnon was working his magic. Now, MacKinnon, when he scored a goal right here in the third period, they showed his parents' reaction to the goal. Their reaction was nothing. There was no reaction. His father would make an excellent poker player if he doesn't already know that. But MacKinnon looked like he was going to score. And what the Flames did in this, what Giordano did in this was amazing. He just stick-checked MacKinnon, knocked him right off the puck, knocks it up to Dubé, who gets it to Monahan, and it's in the net. And that's it. The Flames go into Colorado and win 5-4. This is their 5th straight win. This is one of those statement games. So when people look at my power rankings the other week and they go, what happened there? This is one of those games that I look at and I say, you know what? This tells me just how good Calgary's playing right now. This is one of those games. And avoiding the usual failure they've had over the last while against the LA Kings, which I think is a lot of it psychological. Riddick saved 28 out of 32. Like I said, saving 28 out of 32 is not a great save percentage, but he had a great night. Francouz saved 28 out of 33. I thought he played well as well. I thought both teams offensively came to play. 3 stars, Monahan, Tkachuk, and Graves, as Graves continues to expand his portfolio as one of the better defensemen in the league as well. I don't know how Joe Sakic keeps doing this. He steals Girard from Nashville. Graves comes out of nowhere. Makar's a fantastic draft pick. You've got Byram down in juniors. This is a blue line that is really underrated, and it's deep as well for Colorado, and it's one that he should keep together for a long time to come. I know Byram keeps being mentioned in trade rumors. Why in the world would you trade Bowen Byram? Anyways, power plays. Calgary 1 for 3. Colorado 0 for 2. The shots were 10-9 in the first for Calgary, 12-10 for Colorado in the second, 11 shots apiece in the third. Calgary gets only 2 shots in the overtime, including the one that mattered, and Colorado had none. Final shots 33-32 in favor of the Calgary Flames, who played a great road game against a team that played a great game as well. This is one of those games where I understand the 3-point game, where I can look at this and say, you know what? Both teams earned that tonight. There are times where I see a team get that overtime loss point, and I go, oh, that was really ridiculous. This one tonight, this was a really good game. Let me know what you guys thought in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. We got a big day tomorrow. We got, I believe it's 12 games tomorrow night. So I'll get those boards done tonight. We'll get that preview up tomorrow, and we'll do her all over again. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video, and I will talk to you again soon.